Now at 9, new details on a plan for a crosswalk near Joplin High School, including how much it'll cost the district. Plus, the Missouri State Treasurer says this year's back-to-school tax-free holiday weekend will have a big change from previous years. And
because of the heat experienced in the 4 states area and in other parts of the United States, air conditioner repair services are in high demand. I'm Fernanda Silva, and I spoke with a local business who share hints on how to avoid the problem.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us. I'm Tanya Bach. Joplin Schools and the City of Joplin partnered together to install a crosswalk on 20th Street adjacent to Joplin High School. School officials say students crossing 20th Street have been a safety concern for some time. After months of discussions, the City of Joplin and the school district agreed to install a lighted crosswalk with a safety island between 2 lanes. The city and school district agreed to split the installment cost, which is approximately $38,000.
What they'll be able to do is hit the warning signal light. It will flash, stop traffic. They'll be able to cross to what is the center turn lane to a safety island where they can hit the crosswalk crossing again that will get them across the next 2 lanes of traffic and safely across 20th Street.
Pettit hopes the crosswalk will be installed before the first day of school. Well, the heat returned to the 4 states today, but how long is it here to stay? Meteorologist Sam Lane joins us with a first look at weather.
Well, we are at the height of summer, that is for sure, across our area. We're looking at some scattered showers and storms across northeastern Missouri right now, and we're going to be watching that rain as it continues to move towards St. Louis. No rain in our area, but as we go through the morning, we're going to see mostly fair skies with temperatures in the 80s dropping down to 78 degrees. Tomorrow, the UV index is going to be very high, 10 on the scale. And then if we look at the burn time, about 10 to 15 minutes. Looking down the lane, we are expecting partly cloudy skies tonight, a very hot week. We do have low rain chances, but we also have a cooler weekend ahead. And I'll tell you more about that, Tanya, in just a little bit.
All right, thanks, Sam. And with all this intense heat, air conditioning repair services are in high demand. One Joplin company says this summer they are receiving 40% more calls about malfunctioning ACs than in non-summer months. KOAM's Fernanda Silva has the story.
During a summer of scorching heat, it's nice to be able to go into a restaurant, cool off, and enjoy a good meal. But last Friday, the staff of El Caballo de Oro noticed part of that was missing.
People used to kind of go in there in the lobby, and sometimes they feel like the must and it's not comfortable. So a lot of people shy away from that.
Staff at the Mexican restaurant called their landlord to have someone check the AC. But according to the owner of Satterley Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, the Mexican restaurant is not alone.
Whenever temperatures rise to this level, air conditioners are very taxed and stressed, and we get a lot of calls.
To avoid making these calls yourself, specialists recommend changing the AC filter and washing the condenser coil regularly, as these are some of the most common problems.
Not really anything causes it. It's just, especially when it's 100 degrees outside, people are going to want to stay cool, which who doesn't want to? And so it's running constantly. And so problems just arise.
They also suggest scheduling an annual maintenance to make sure the equipment will be ready when the temperatures rise.
Set up every year. You will go out, we'll check your unit, we'll wash it, change your filters, and check all the electrical, make sure they're all running at top.
While most of the times you won't know your AC is not working properly until you start feeling your house warmer, knocking sounds and burning smells might indicate something is not right. Heating and Air Tech says temperatures above 105 degrees are beyond capacity for most AC units in our area.
Whatever temperature you keep it at, the odds are your unit is not going to shut off anyway. So I recommend people put it on the temperature they want and see what they achieve.
With the AC now fixed, customers at El Caballo de Oro can once again enjoy their meal in a cool atmosphere.
For the good thing that this week they're all in there and coming in, and it doesn't feel hot right now. I think it's fixed.
In Joplin, Fernanda Silva, KOAM News.
The specialist also suggests shading windows and making sure those windows are efficient to keep your room cooler. Limiting the number of times you open the door to the outside can also help. Well, cities and counties in Missouri can no longer opt out of the state's back-to-school sales tax holiday weekend. Missouri State Treasurer Vivek Malik today visited Missouri Southern to remind families about the 3-day sales tax holiday weekend. And during the holiday, all state sales taxes will be waived for qualifying back-to-school supplies. In the past, cities and counties were able to still collect local taxes, but now Alex says that's no longer the case.
Because I think education is very dear to me. That is something which brought me out of trenches. And I think for anybody to succeed or make a mark in their life, education is the key. And if you want your next generation to succeed, it is important that we do that saving today so that they can have the same opportunities that we had.
That tax-free holiday runs from Friday through Sunday. Parsons, Kansas voters today overwhelmingly decided to renew a half-cent public safety sales tax. That tax supports funding competitive pay to retain experienced police officers and firefighters and to pay for training. It also helps buy vehicles and other critical equipment. It's now extended for another 10 years. Well, that was the only area election today, but several Missouri communities will head to the polls next Tuesday. Most of them are tax levy questions, and some will be general sales taxes. Others will be sales taxes on marijuana sales. For a full list of the elections next week, you can go to our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, Washington, D.C. grand jury delivers a third indictment against former President Donald Trump stemming from the January 6th investigation. He's now facing 2 conspiracy counts and 2 obstruction counts. Fox News correspondent Madeline Rivera has more from Washington on the impact these impending charges have on his campaign.
Since last week, speculation has been rampant that an indictment would come from this courthouse. This afternoon, it finally did. A Washington, D.C. grand jury delivering a third indictment against former President Trump. Special counsel Jack Smith charging Trump in the January 6th investigation.
Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding.
Outside of the federal courthouse, a heightened security presence ahead of the news. But more federal charges haven't dampened Trump's bluster. In a new Truth Social post, he touts his commanding lead in the GOP primary race. His competitors facing a tall order.
You're going to have to convince 37, 35, almost 40% of the Republican Party that you can beat Donald Trump and that you are a better general election candidate than he is. That's going to be tough whenever so many polls are out showing that Trump can beat Biden.
A new poll shows President Biden neck and neck with Trump. It's a worrying sign for Democrats, even as the president finds himself on a smoother ride in his term. He has shored up Democratic support, but his approval rating remains low despite a slight bump.
Donald Trump is gaining steam with black voters, with Hispanic voters, and that's a really good sign for Trump, a bad sign for Biden.
Some Republicans, however, are worried Trump's legal problems could threaten his electability.
The key is going to be, will we start to see some people concluding he just got too much baggage, time to turn the page?
Trump will likely have to appear here in this Washington, D.C. district court in the coming days. In Washington, Madeline Rivera, Fox News.
Well, coming up, instead of focusing on school supplies, a nonprofit in Northeast Oklahoma is working to make female sanitary products available for girls in schools. We take you to a period pantry in Tulsa after the break. A nonprofit in Oklahoma is working to get students ready for the school year, but instead of focusing on school supplies, it's working to make female sanitary products more readily available for girls in schools. Fox's Alex Cash explains.
Cassie Celestine is putting together packets of period products to go to schools across the Tulsa area.
We think of school supplies as pencils and rulers and index cards, right, for those middle school kids, those high school kids. But we like to think that period products are just as important as those school supplies. We need those girls to have those tampons, those pads, whatever they need so they can stay in school.
Celestine is the president of the Tulsa Period Pantry, a non-profit trying to help girls get access to sanitary supplies. She says now Nationally, 1 in 4 girls miss school because they don't have or can't afford to buy period products, and it has an effect on their education.
What it really is girls don't have supplies for their whole period. And so if you think about 1 in 4 girls missing school due to not having supplies, that can be anywhere from 1 to 5 days a month they're missing. So as you can imagine, that accumulates over time and over their education. So it's vitally important that girls have period products and staying in school and getting all of that education.
From tampons to pads, the Tulsa Period Pantry says since January they've collected around 29,000 products.
Celeste Dane says the Period Pantry is partnered up with 23 schools at the moment, and their volunteers package up donations of tampons, pads and reusable cups for the start of the school year. She says she wants people to get over the embarrassment of talking about the issue so young girls can get the help they need.
This is definitely a hidden problem. Most people don't know that this is an issue at all. One, there's a lot of taboo or negativity around menstruation and periods, so people, girls who are struggling, they don't want to share that they don't have the products that they need.
That was Fox's Alex Cash reporting. Well, COVID-19 is still among us. The CDC reports COVID hospitalizations are on the rise in the U.S., possibly signaling a late summer wave. More than 7,000 people were hospitalized across the country the week of July 15th, and that's compared to more than 6,000 the week before. The spike in positive cases is predominantly in the southeast. Despite the uptick, COVID rates are still near historic lows, and COVID-related deaths continue to decline. Well, researchers find sleep apnea could be linked to a higher risk of heart attack and stroke. Sleep apnea is a disorder where sleepers breathe erratically, and the most common type involves obstructed airways. A study published in the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine drew on data from about 4,000 adults who were in 2 other studies and found that obstructed breathing and falling oxygen levels were significantly associated with a higher risk of cardiovascular issues. The study does not necessarily prove sleep apnea causes cardiovascular disease incidence, but the researchers emphasize that breathing obstruction and lowering oxygen levels were likely a main factor. One new study says it takes just 1 of these a day to increase your health risk. Researchers say just 1 alcoholic drink a day can raise your blood pressure over time, increasing both heart disease and stroke risk. The study tracked 19,000 adults for 5 years, drinking just 12 grams a day, which is about a 12-ounce beer, a 5-ounce glass of wine, or a 1.5-ounce shot of spirits. Raised the systolic blood pressure by 1.25 points. Now, researchers say alcohol raises the stress hormone cortisol, which could contribute to a rise in blood pressure. Well, Sam is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Pittsburgh Little League team is raising money for a trip to regionals in Indianapolis. We'll hear from the team in sports.
Well, we are starting off August on a hot note. Of course, it is in the height of summer right now, and we're going to see summer-like temperatures for the next few days, including Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Let's start off the time lapse from this morning, and you can see that we had a few clouds. As that goes into motion, you can see the clouds started to dissipate as we went through the afternoon, and lots of sunshine, blue skies. And as a result, temperatures really warmed up pretty nicely across the area, especially in southeastern Kansas, where many folks were 100 plus as we went through the afternoon. 98 in Joplin was our high, 79 was our low, which of course was above the normals. Thank goodness we weren't near that record of 108 back in that sizzling summer of 2011. So it can be worse this time of year. We actually have a flush flood watch in effect for parts of northeastern Missouri, central Missouri, due to some showers and thunderstorms rotating and going over the same areas over and over and over again. And the drought was starting to sneak into central Missouri, but this is helping put an end to that. But the epicenter of the drought is over in southeastern Kansas, and it looks like we're going to have to wait more time before we get some decent rainfall in here. Temperatures right now at this hour are still in the 90s in Neodesha, with 93, the same thing in Chanute, 90 in Chetopa, 86 over in Neosho, and 83 cooler degrees over in Monette and Aurora. When you factor in the dew point, though, it feels like 101 in Independence and in Nowata, 101 also in Chetopa. But the champion is Veneta right now, feeling still at 102. Now tomorrow, with temperatures in the 100s and dew points up in the 60s and 70s, we're going to start to feel like it's around 108 in Pittsburgh, in Fort Scott, 105 in Yates Center. So a toasty afternoon. Then as we go into Thursday, same thing. Temperatures around 107, or at least feel like it, in Pittsburgh as well as Fort Scott. And then finally on Friday, a little bit lower, but still feeling like well over 100 degrees across a large part of the air. Check out Nowata, 111 on Friday afternoon. As a result, an excessive heat warning is in effect for southeastern Kansas, southwestern Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma until tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. The exception being our far eastern counties and northwestern Arkansas, but they're still under a heat advisory, so there's lots of heat to go around for everyone. Rain chances are going to be pretty low, almost zero for the next 36 hours. Any rain that does occur over the next couple of days is going to be up towards the north and east, but then as we go into Friday and Saturday, we'll start to see some scattered showers into our area, so that will help a little bit. But in the meantime, ridge of high pressure sitting over southern Oklahoma is going to be moving back towards the west as we go towards the weekend, and that's finally going to allow a front to drop into our area, increasing our rain chances and also cooling us down just a little bit. No cool down tonight though. Temperatures in the 70s. I know there's a lot of green on the map, but this model is overdoing it. No showers are expected really. Then as we go into Wednesday afternoon, temperatures around 100 degrees, hotter out towards the west. Thursday morning, temperatures starting up at around 80 degrees. Thursday afternoon, partly cloudy with highs again in the low 100s. And that continues into Friday after starting out lows in the 70s with maybe a few showers Friday morning. We're still going to reach in the upper 90s on Friday afternoon. Then as we head into the weekend, cooling down a little bit as we go into Saturday and Sunday. And look at Monday, a high of only 86 degrees with a pretty good chance of showers and storms. So next week looks a lot more closer to normal than this week.
A little bit of relief there.
A little bit.
A little bit.
A little bit. Hopefully that will continue.
I was hoping that when you added more days, it would also be more in the 80s and not back into the 90s.
Well,
so.
We'll see what we can do about that.
All right. Well, coming up, more pain at the pump.
Gas prices are going up just like summer temperatures with no relief in sight. I'm Caroline Shively in Washington with that story coming up.
Well, gas prices are on the rise, just like summer temperatures. And experts say there is a link, but it's cold comfort to drivers sweating out the cost to keep their cars moving. Fox News correspondent Caroline Shively has more from Washington.
A familiar scene at the gas pump, higher prices, and they could keep creeping up. The average price for a gallon up 14 cents in a week and 24 cents in a month, according to AAA. The cost is still down compared to last year, but come September, experts say that might change. The West Coast getting hit the hardest. California is surpassing the $5 mark yet again. A big reason? Record-breaking heat.
The price of oil is up, but also heat-induced refinery issues have led to less gasoline production.
And costs could continue to climb, especially if a hurricane or major storm hits. And another thing that could jack up prices, a lawsuit. Some progressives in the Senate want the Biden administration to sue big oil, saying industry leaders like Exxon and Shell are lying about climate change. They say these companies are breaking federal racketeering laws, consumer protection laws, and more. Writing in a letter to Attorney General Merrick Garland, the future of our planet depends on it.
It certainly could have a chilling effect on all the companies investing in something that politicians are going after. I mean, we've seen politicians try to weigh in on this situation, but even the Biden administration has seemed to back off its attacks in the oil sector.
Some drivers are ditching gas-guzzling cars altogether. Ford says they are ramping up production of their EV trucks, just the latest to slash prices. In Washington, Caroline Shively, Fox News.
Well, Uber hits a milestone and surprises Wall Street by making its first profit ever in the recent quarter. Now, Uber is seeing more demand for trips and it has been able to attract more drivers, though its revenue number was weaker than forecast. CVS Health is cutting about 5,000 jobs to help reduce costs. The company does not expect to cut positions in stores, pharmacies, and clinics, though. Most of the layoffs will be in corporate positions. And Cineworld emerges from Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It's the world's second largest movie theater chain behind AMC and includes Regal Cinema City, Picture House, and Planet Theaters. The company says it has lower debt, new management, and a new board. Up next, if you don't win tonight's Mega Millions drawing, Krispy Kreme is making sure you still come away a winner. Well, losing a lottery ticket is now a winner at Krispy Kreme. The chain is giving away a free glazed donut today and tomorrow to customers who bring in a Mega Millions ticket from tonight's drawing. Krispy Kreme says the deal is to let everyone win some dough, even if they're not lucky enough to win the more than $1 billion jackpot. Well, 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Coming up, the Miami School District will have its very own campus police force. We meet the chief. Plus, the Cherokee County Sheriff's Office looks to connect with the community through a national night out event. Miami Public Schools Police Force is starting its first school year as a department. KOAM's Anthony Saviello has the story.
For Miami Public Schools, one of its most important missions is to keep students safe while they pursue their education.
In the world we live in today, safety is our number one role for kids. Parents and their kids are most precious commodities to us every day, and they expect them to come back in the same shape that they dropped them off in. And that's our job. That's our number one duty, is to protect kids and keep them safe.
Many schools have SROs, or student resource officers. Typically, these officers are part of the local police department. However, what Miami Public Schools has done is created its own department dedicated solely to the school district.
We're going to be partnering with Miami Police Department as well as all the tribal agencies, law enforcement agencies, as well as the county and even other jurisdictions from where we're located, because we all have one goal in mind, that's safety of our students and our community. So absolutely, we're going to be great partnerships with them.
For Miami Public Schools, this department only seems to aim for the betterment of the school district.
I hope for us to kind of be the cornerstone here in Northeast Oklahoma that people can model after as we progress and grow in this, that they can look to us when they go to start their own and come to us for questions, or to be that model for the other schools that want to start this program.
Having these extra helping hands to provide a safe environment for students can hopefully help parents continue to rest easy. Reporting in Miami, Oklahoma, Anthony Saviello, KOAM News.
Well, the department is prepared to go into the school year with a full staff of 10 officers, including full-time and reserve officers. On Monday, a group of Oklahoma residents sued to stop the state from establishing and funding what would be the nation's first religious public charter school. The lawsuit seeks to stop taxpayer funds from going to the St. Isidore of Seville Catholic Virtual School. Oklahoma's Republican Governor Kevin Stitt earlier this year signed a bill that would give parents in the state a tax incentive to send their children to private schools, including religious schools. Well, folks in Riverton, Kansas had some fun tonight. The Cherokee County Sheriff's Office hosted a National Night Out event. Now, National Night Out is an opportunity to help build relationships and understanding between first responders and the communities they serve. KOAM photojournalist Friends Wallace was there to check it all out.
Just want to thank you everybody for coming out tonight to our first National Night Out. It's been a good turnout. We hope you're having a good time with your kids, interacting with law enforcement and our fellow first responders. We're grateful for all of you. It's an honor to serve this community.
I can't really say I want them to hear anything they don't usually, because I feel like, especially in this community, we try our hardest to make it known that, we're here for them in any way, shape, or form, whether it be on duty or off. They're about to land it. I think it's up in the air right now. I can hear it right now. Yep, let's go, girls, come on. You tell Adam thank you for showing you the Bearcat. Well, I think they just came here to show you guys today. It's pretty cool, huh?
Hey, don't get your shoes as dirty as your feet.
The Sheriff's Office was also handing out free gun locks to attendees. A little bit later, feeling less like a tourist.
If your summer plans involve a trip overseas, a new device could make it easier to communicate in a foreign country. I'm Jackie Ibanez. That story straight ahead.
Well, another hot summer day across the 4 states with temperatures over 100 degrees in many locations. Joplin barely missed it, but we'll see 100 degrees probably tomorrow. Let's take a look outside right now at Seneca, Missouri at Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Things are looking pretty calm and nice this evening, a little bit on the warm side, but we'll see temperatures dropping down into the 70s by morning. We did make it up to 98 in Joplin today, starting out at 79, which was above the normals of 91 and 70. And of course, we're way behind on the rainfall, and right now no rainfall to be found in our area. It's all up to the north and east, up in northeastern Missouri, moving into the St. Louis area. In fact, a flash flood watch is out for a large chunk of Missouri, mainly on the eastern side. Temperatures this evening are pleasant. It's 89 in Joplin, 87 in Lamar and Nevada. Toward the west, it's a little bit warmer, where it's still 93 at Chanute, 91 in Nowata, as well as Sedan, and 87 degrees for our friends in Bentonville. When you factor in the dew point, it feels like still 101 in Chatopa, 102 in Veneta, 103 in Nowata right now is what it feels like. So even though the sun's down, it's still pretty warm out there. Tomorrow, we're going to see more of the same as far as the heat goes. Temperatures feeling like 109 in Lamar, Nevada, and Stockton, 109 in Miami, 105 in Fredonia. Just a brutal day tomorrow again. Then as we go into Thursday, repeated tomorrow with temperatures feeling like 107, 108 across the area, especially up to the north and east. A little bit warmer out in Nowata with 109. And then as we go into Friday, a little bit cooler, but still feeling like well over 100. Look out at Nowata, 111 on Friday afternoon for the hot spot. As a result, heat advisories are in effect for all of our area pretty much, except for the far eastern counties and northwestern Arkansas. Those advisories go until tomorrow evening. Rain chances are going to be low, but any rain that does occur is going to be up towards the north and east in northeastern Missouri. But as we go into Friday and Saturday, we'll start to see some scattered showers, maybe impacting our area with a little bit of rainfall. But wait, we're going to have to wait until this high pressure center starts to retreat back towards the west. That will start to occur on Friday. That will put us into a northwest flow pattern, and that's when the rain chances will increase and our temperatures decrease just a little bit. Temperatures tonight are going to be mild, generally in the 70s across the area, maybe some 80s, and then tomorrow afternoon, generally 101, 102, 103 out towards the west. And then as we go into Thursday morning, we're going to see lows again right around 80. And then tomorrow or Thursday afternoon, highs again above 100 degrees. And then as we go into Friday morning, maybe a few scattered showers starting to move into our area with lows in the 70s. But it's not going to really help matters much on Friday afternoon with a high of 99. And then Saturday and Sunday, that's when we start to see the cool air start to move in with temperatures in the 90s and 80s by next week with a pretty good chance of showers and storms. So hopefully we can just get through the next couple of days and then take a little bit of a breather.
That's what I was thinking. It's light at the end of the tunnel for us. I'm really liking that Monday night low of 64. Just getting into the 60s again.
Exactly.
But we got to get through tomorrow and Thursday.
Yeah, and those will be with lower dew points too, making it feel very comfortable.
Definitely. All right. Thanks, Sam. Well, at least 20 people are dead across China as the country deals with record-breaking rain. Tens of thousands have been evacuated as massive flooding washes away their homes. Chinese military is flying into areas the hardest hit to deliver the essentials like food, clean water, and warm clothes. Well, coming up in sports, we take a look at the final moves made by the Cardinals and Royals ahead of today's trade deadline. Plus, find out how the 12 and under All-Stars from the J.L. Hutchinson Little League are getting prepared for a trip to Indianapolis. John Dales has that and more up next.
J.L. Hutchinson, Little League Baseball's All-Stars from Pittsburgh, won the 12 and under Kansas State tournament last weekend. Now they're headed to the Midwest Regional Championship in Indiana. They're hoping to punch their ticket to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Bat meeting ball, a sound familiar to any baseball diamond. Unless, of course, the 12U team from J.L. Hutchinson Little League is out in the field.
So the highlight this season so far has been our tournament in Baxter. We went down there and first 3 games the kids pitched 3 consecutive no-hitters as a team, and then we faced a good Riverton team a second time, and they kind of got our backs against the wall, got back in it 6-5, and Keaton Peak came out and hit a home run to lead off the next inning, and then Luke Jones came back out and I think struck out 5 in the next 6 to get us finish out the game with Fisher closing. So, you know, any team, no matter how good or bad they are, not to give up a hit in Little League 3 times in a row is impressive by the boys, and I was really proud of them, and to realize it happened 3 times in a row was pretty amazing.
Going on a run to a state championship like they have provides for some special memories.
I'm saving a no-hitter in left field by catching a fly ball.
What happened there?
Well, Fisher was pitching, threw one, he hit it. It was like a no-hitter, 0 to like 15, and caught it, made sure they didn't get any.
For now, Pittsburgh prepares to take on another regional qualifier from North Dakota on Friday.
I think we'll be good. We know it's kind of a big game, and we'll probably definitely play our best because we know a lot's at stake.
Even with those high stakes, make no doubt about it, these kids from Pittsburgh are ready for the moment.
I don't know. I think I'll be fine.
J.L. Hutchinson begins play this Friday at 10 a.m. against North Dakota State. That game's on ESPN+. And they play in an 8-team double elimination tournament, which also includes the Little Leaguers from Webb City. Only one team, though, from the region advances to the World Series. And in pro baseball, Major League trade deadline has officially come and gone. The Royals, Cardinals, everybody else in the MLB won't be making any more trades for the rest of the season. Starting things out with what the Royals have done, they send relief pitcher Jose Cuas to the Cubs in exchange for outfielder Nelson Velasquez. KC also gets left-handed pitcher Tucker Davidson from the Angels in exchange for cash. And right before the deadline, closer Scott Barlow gets sent to San Diego. In return, the Royals get their number 10 prospect. Cardinals, very active on the last day as well. Paul DeJong, who had been with St. Louis since 2017, was an All-Star in 2019. He goes to the Blue Jays along with cash as the Cards continue their fire sale. They also send Jack Flaherty to the Orioles. Now, he had been with the Cardinals since being a first-round draft pick back in 2014. That's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
If your summer plans involve going on a vacation abroad, you're not alone. But if you don't speak the native language of the country you're jet setting to, it may be a little tricky getting around. Fox News correspondent Jackie Ibanez takes a look at the unique device breaking down language barriers overseas and helping tourists travel with ease.
Summer and vacations usually go hand in hand. And with international travel numbers still rebounding after the pandemic, taking a trip overseas may sound like a fun idea. But it can be stressful if you don't speak the native language, especially if you're trying to find your way around a foreign location.
How much is a ticket to Harajuku?
Now, a new device inside a Japanese train station is making tourists' lives easier by translating their conversations and helping them navigate one of Tokyo's busiest areas.
The display we have introduced can automatically translate between Japanese and other languages. When customers speak in a foreign language, the station attendant can see it in Japanese, and when the station attendant speaks Japanese, customers can read the sentences in their own language.
The translated conversations between tourists and station employees are displayed on a semi-clear wall, and it's meant to help facilitate more lengthy and complex exchanges.
You feel safe immediately because you know there is a human on the other side, so you take your time to explain what you need, and you will know that they will understand what you need.
And for some of you who are wondering why this device is needed when similar technology like Google Translate already exists,
Google Translate isn't always available because you don't always have Wi-Fi everywhere you go. So places like this, it's also much faster than pulling up your phone, typing everything out.
Besides Japanese, the device can currently translate 11 other languages, including English, Spanish, French, and Mandarin. Jackie Ibanez, Fox News.
Pretty cool tool. Coming up, we'll learn how a kitten and a ferret became thick as thieves at an animal rescue. A kitten and a ferret become unlikely but inseparable friends at an animal rescue facility in Utah. Fox's John Franchi has more on this heartwarming story.
Well, what an unlikely pairing. These two little guys, a ferret and a kitten, they've become best friends here at the Fulmer Menagerie Animal Rescue in Salina. It's safe to say Skitty already used one of her 9 lives.
This kitten was in the middle of the road. People were speeding by it, and you know the kitten was going to get hit.
Skitty was saved from a road outside of the Gunnison State Prison. After an ordeal like that, she needed a friend and found one at Fulmer Menagerie Animal Rescue.
We pull these animals from these really bad situations.
Yes, Janine Fuller is the founder of the rescue and a friend to all of the animals here, but Skitty's best friend is Banana Pudding. Now you're probably thinking that's not a cat, and you're right. Banana Pudding is a ferret found by a cleaning crew inside a rundown home in deplorable conditions.
Very skinny, very unhealthy. We didn't know whether it was going to make it.
Their will to survive a common bond, these two instantly hit it off.
It's crazy.
From playtime to sleepy time, this pair is inseparable.
Who knows really what goes on in their heads, but it was just like it was an instant bond.
They're among the dozens of animals at the rescue looking for a home, and the search has no time limit. The rescue won't give up on any of these animals. One dog has lived here for 8 years.
We want to make sure that they're going to go to the best home ever and change what was a really negative situation into the most amazing life they can have.
In a perfect world, Janine hopes both Skitty and Banana Pudding are adopted to the same home, but she knows that may not happen.
I don't want the kitten to stay here and wait and miss an opportunity to have an incredible home.
So while it may not be possible to keep this odd couple together forever, they're an example that friendship can be found anywhere.
See people together and you think that's an odd match, but it works.
It does work. That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of penguins exploring the Oregon Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.